biology, atavism is the term for an evolutionary trait that can spontaneously reoccur in a living organism hundreds or even thousands of years after the organism has evolved to no longer have said trait. This is made possible thanks to DNA, which maintains a complete record of every stage of evolution all the way back to the birth of a species. Examples in nature include things like snakes being born with legs or chickens with dinosaur teeth. Humans as well aren't immune to the effects of genetic atavistic regression, with tails being one of the most common evolutionary throwbacks to occur in modern man. Now, despite protests from both outside and within the scientific community, American researchers are beginning to experiment with the possibility of intentionally triggering genetic regression in humans. Specifically, they're looking at sequences in our DNA that we have inherited from our old friend, the Neanderthal. As some of you may know, humans share as much as 4% of our DNA with Neanderthals, who went extinct 40,000 years ago. The researchers are hoping that by selectively reactivating certain genetic sequences, we can reactivate this DNA. Does this mean we'll have modern-day Neanderthals roaming the streets? Sadly, this seems unlikely. The research has been roundly condemned by the scientific community, and Congress is in the process of enacting legislation that would see it. The Battle of Fort Collins in April of 2018 was the single largest defeat of the war. The infected, now officially recognized as Neo-Magnon man, had gone to ground for the winter, allowing the Allied forces a chance to regroup after taking an appalling amount of casualties and suffering numerous defeats at the hands of the Neo-Mags. With infection rates in some areas as high as 45%, large sections of the United States, Mexico, and Canada had to be abandoned completely in order for the remaining safe zones to be defended. That April, a band of almost 100,000 Neo-Mags launched a vicious spring offensive, descending from the Rocky Mountains onto the unsuspecting town of Fort Collins, Colorado. What little military forces were stationed in the northern part of the state were quickly overwhelmed as the Neo-Mags raided the area in search of supplies and captives. The counterattack, led by General Wilson Bradley, became mired in a 2-month struggle to retake the town. Civilian casualties were horrific, and Bradley's forces, representing a significant portion of the remaining Allied forces in North America, were stretched almost to the breaking point. A loss in Fort Collins was becoming inevitable as the Neo-Mag numbers swelled with those freshly infected. The combined military forces of the Western world, as well as the human species, were on the brink of defeat. The scientific world is buzzing with rumors that at long last a cure may have been discovered. Dr. Claire Atwater, lead geneticist at Lethbridge Security Consultants, one of the largest and best-funded private armies in the country, was quick to deny the rumors. However, numerous eyewitness accounts in and around the town of Colorado Springs claim to have seen Lethbridge mercenaries operating with what appears to be a juvenile Neo-Mag male. Lethbridge Security Consultants gained widespread notoriety for their part in the retaking of Colorado, as well as other parts of the U.S., and have been awarded numerous contracts by the interim United States government. Lethbridge is considered by many to be the obvious frontrunners in the race to replace the shattered United States military. One eyewitness account in particular is circulating both in the newspaper and across the Newnet. In it, a woman claims she was rescued by Lethbridge mercenaries working under the direction of a young Neo-Mag male. After the rescue, she overheard the mercenaries speaking to the Neo-Mag. According to the woman, they referred to him by name. That name was